Hello, and welcome back to Crochet at my house. I should hopefully be live now. I'm doing a little bit of cross stitch at the moment. I'm not going to continue doing this, but that's what I was doing while setting up. It's a kit that I got in Hobbycraft a while ago. I'm just finishing this 5-piece. This is what I'm working on. It kind of looks a little bit odd. I'm doing the writing area down here, and I'm doing it from this end and working that way, and coming back and working that way. Kind of like a printer, back and forth kind of thing. That's how I'm doing this piece. Yeah, I'm not going to stick to doing this well. I'm doing because it takes a little bit more concentration than other things do. This is actually a bit of a random live. I scheduled it just the other day. So I've been kind of doing things a little bit randomly rather than to some sort of schedule. Got a note. I shall try and fix this. Go. Yep, fixed. Just sitting by myself at the moment. Nobody's here, so I'll work on this since I have nothing to do for now. I think it's okay to kind of work on something that you need to pay attention to when it's quiet and nobody's saying anything. But once there's people, it's more need to focus. So let's continue this. What else? And that should be 4. Yep. What I'm actually going to work on while I'm sitting here today is this is the advent calendar I've been working on, and I recently started the green. And much to the green yet, but that's what I've got. It's Boho Spirit in the colour Eden. Bit 43. And I'm doing a slightly different setup than usual because I thought this was a better place to sit. Good morning to you, Karian? Maybe Karian? I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I am trying, but I am not 100% sure on that. So it's morning where you are then. It's 3 p.m. here in the afternoon. Yep, I'm working away at this at the moment because it was very quiet, and when it's quiet, I can focus on this kind of thing. But when it isn't, I don't do this kind of thing. This is a counted cross stitch kit that I got out of Hobbycraft a while ago, and it's called the Happy Camper. What I'm doing is working on the words. So I suppose technically you could work on the words by like doing the words as they go, so like doing the H and doing the A, but I'm kind of doing it like a printer, so I'm going from this end across and then back and across and back. It tends to be the way I find I can keep track better. The other way, sometimes you can get a little bit thrown off of what space you're supposed to be in, and that could be a bit of a pain if you're trying for it actually being in the right place. Plus, just make sure all your stitches are laying the same direction. Makes it look neater as well. Oh, okay. Karina. That's cool. That's a nice name. Yes, it is a cute little kit. I can't remember exactly when I got it, but it was quite a while ago. That's noted. I will try and remember that it's just a different spelling. So what are you working on, Karina? Are you crocheting, knitting? For the kit that I'm working on, this one. Is that what you're wondering about? So I can tell you a little bit about it. It's a kit that I got. Getting the information in it. So the kit that I'm using, here's the information bit. It's by Cross Stitch Style. I got it out of Hobbycraft. It does say it was manufactured by freebirdsdesign.com on the back. Yeah. I don't think it's available in Hobbycraft anymore, because I think I looked it up at one point and I didn't see it there. Hi, Bev. Oh, you're you're knitting a sweater. Oh, you just finished knitting a sweater. You're going to start crocheting a lace poncho. That sounds pretty. You're welcome. Yeah, I got it quite a while ago, so I haven't seen it since then. What are you working on, Bev? Oh, so if you see me doing this, it's because I like to look at the back of my work. So here's the back of my Happy Camper piece, and here's the front. So you can see it's actually really neat and tidy back here. And that's because I flip-flop it back and forth so I can check the back and make sure I'm not catching any knots or anything, because it makes the thread last longer. Plus, if I do that, I can make sure I'm going in a perfect space that makes it tidy and stuff. Thanks, Beth. Yeah, I've noticed a lot of people say that my cross stitch is very tidy. I don't know, do other people just leave the knots and stuff at the back or something? Yeah, so I've been working on this for a wee while. I don't work on cross stitch as much as I do crochet. One, because I prefer crochet, and two, this takes a little bit more to do. Okay, see you later, Karina. Hope you have a nice day. Yeah, I don't generally do cross stitch as much as I crochet. A little bit more fiddly, like doing. Because I find it makes my hands work faster than crochet does. But that might just be it. Nearly lost the pattern I'm working from. Another thing I found recently while working on cross stitch is the picture. I find it easier to go up the picture than down the picture, especially if there's straight edges, because I find it goes up nicer and you don't get as many mistakey looking bits. Plus, if you're going up a straight line and stacked on top of each other, if you're going down the way, you're basically having to go through the same hole if you just came out. But if you're going up the way, you don't. You go up over, so you don't have to try and go for the same hole that you just came out. If that makes any sense. But besides this, I'm going to work on the advent calendar today, on the grass section, which the grass section does have some kind of bluish colours in it, because I am using Boho Spirit Eden and it has a little bit of blue in there. Yeah, that's true. It can be hard on your hands because of those things. Also, for me, I have EDS, and so doing this sort of thing makes my hands go in weird positions, like that, for example, and causes dislocations and stuff, because I am hyperextending joints and things. It's kind of a pain. Well, I think that's me done with the cross stitch for now. I have done a whole line. It looks kind of funny just as a line of random pieces of pink. I'm sure it'll look right once it's actually becoming words. Do I really get so much done? I don't feel like I do that much. I mean, I suppose I do a fair bit, but it doesn't feel like lots every week. Another project over here I've been working on a little bit. I was working on it yesterday while sitting outside because it was sunny and warm, unlike today it's wet, rainy and chilly. So this is what I was working on yesterday. This is known as the Call the Midwife blanket, and originally it was called the block shawl. So this is what it looks like. I'm using 4 different colours. We have stone, buttermilk, saffron, and then this is vintage peach. It's all Stylecraft DK. And this here is the grass. It does look a bit wibbly being in the bag, plus it's also single crochet as a flat piece, so it makes it do that. This is what the green looks like, and it's kind of different colours. Cool. Did you do it recently or was it a while ago? The colours are nice. It's going to go in the living room, so it's kind of matching our wallpaper now. You are. I'm actually planning on getting the other half of the pattern, the all these little pieces, the nativity set itself. All of those come in a separate pattern that is a paid for pattern, but I'm planning on getting that pattern soon so I can start working on them as well as working on the background, especially as I may not have gotten enough of the green to do all of that section there. It's kind of a pain. This background part does include the palm trees, the gifts, and the little bit of hay that goes in his bed. But all the other characters and pieces are separate. So yeah, I just thought it'd be nice to start on them, and it would mean if I do run out of green, I'll still be able to work on it and not just have to leave it to the side until I get some more. See, this is what Eden looks like. So Eden has blues in it. It kind of looks like water, but it's also got grass and a couple of different shades. And yeah, I just want it to look nice. And it's some of the bluish bits are more tealy colours, and so they're not totally blue, but some of it is. Yeah, should be soon. I was looking it up yesterday so that I had the page up to get the rest of the pattern. Yeah, it's kind of strange to work on holiday projects when it's nowhere near. But when you're making something, you kind of have to start early or it'll never be ready. Like I've done that a couple of times. I've started projects right when like the holiday was going to be, like maybe 1 month before or just at the start of that month. And by the time you get to whatever it is that you're planning to do it for, it's past and you're still not finished. A good example of this was last year I made the chicken shawl. It was this massive project, and I didn't realize it was going to be so massive, but I started it and I was going to do it for Easter, and it wasn't ready for that, so I thought, maybe it'll be ready for my sister's birthday, which is in May, and it wasn't ready for that, and then it was just ready for Christmas. Oh, nice. I don't know if I'll be doing it. An ornament is what sounds lovely. Christmas ornaments are a really fun thing to do. They're probably one of the things that are slightly easier to do closer to time just because they're smaller. I made a couple of ornaments last year fairly close to it. And they were ready and up on the tree on Christmas Day. But yeah, bigger than that, you're definitely not going to finish in time. Like even a placemat, even though it's not that big, might be a bit of a big project to be doing when one you've not got much time and you're probably doing stuff. That's the other thing I think we don't think about when we're starting a project, how much time we actually have to work on the project, especially during the busy season. Because like at Christmas time or something, well, you're going to be buying gifts, buying foods for the thing, and buying cards or making cards, putting things in the mail, wrapping gifts, decorating, tidying, and all that doing adds up fairly quickly. It looks like it stopped raining for the moment. Still very wet, but it doesn't look like it's raining. Hmm. It's actually pretty wet when I first woke up this morning. I opened my curtains, looked out, and everywhere was wet. And then it kind of dried up some, but over the day it just keeps raining on and off. So there's some green. It's looking super green at this point here. We've got two bits of very green color coming through. One of my favorite things about this kind of yarn, the kind of yarn that changes color, is it makes it kind of exciting to work on a project, especially if it's a very boring project or just like repetitive. Like this is all single crochets. There's no like pattern to it. There's no pretty stitch here and there. It's just single crochet back and forth, back and forth. And so it can get quite dull to work on. Although it's great if you're not wanting to look at it. You can just kind of work along the stitches. But if you've got colours coming through, I feel it makes it exciting because you're working on it and maybe the colour that you're in at the moment is blue and it suddenly changes to pink. You're like, wow, I've got so much done and we're finally at the next colour. That's what I find exciting about it. I still like it getting dulled. My stitches are tidy. Well, I'm glad it makes my work nice that it's always very neat and tidy. I think some of it is also I'm a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to like the cross stitch, looking at the back, and that's kind of erring on the side of being a perfectionist and making sure it is tidy. With crochet, I don't really have to look at it as closely to make it tidy. Although it might be because I do a whole lot more than I do cross stitch. So I'm more comfortable with the stitches. Wow, it's been 25 minutes already. Time flies sometimes, even when there aren't many people here. I've got quite a few projects on the go. So lately, when I have been doing my videos, mostly I've been showing widths because I haven't been finishing anything. I actually haven't worked on the socks at all this week. I've just been working on these free things. Partly because I'm trying to finish the cross stitch piece because I'm planning to hang it up back here so that it'll be part of my background. And so the faster I get it done, the faster it gets up. And I haven't done much reading this week either. Oh, there has been a lot been going in the back garden. We've got several planters up and things have been moved around a bit. And there's a lot of plants. There's potatoes, tomatoes, peppers, the 2 trees, lots of things. Yeah, everyone seems to love this background. It's a really lovely wallpaper. That's pretty impressive that you can remember when I got it. Yeah, it's a really nice wallpaper. There was actually another kind of paper that I had in mind at the time, but this is the one that in the end got picked. And I think it was a good choice. It looks very pretty. And it goes well with all my crochet stuff. This different angle is nice. I can sit in my chair much more comfortably. See you later, Bev. Have a nice day. I have nearly done a whole row of single crochet here on this advent calendar. I wonder when we'll start touching into the blue colors. That'll be interesting. I suppose while it's quiet, I could do a little bit more on the happy camper as well. Really haven't seen many people about today at all. Yeah. I suppose some people will probably watch the playback too. They miss it. I watch the playback of things sometimes, but not for too long. Like an hour playback or 2 hour playback can be okay. But some of the lives that some people do that are really, really long, I don't generally watch those back. They're a bit too time consuming. Like, when you're trying to keep up with all the different channels, you definitely don't have time to watch back everything. So that's me done another row on this advent calendar. Looking really nice. I like the variations of the greens and teal colors. If I get this, where's my needle? There's my needle. I can work on this again. First the rules will be a bit different this time because I'm on a different line. One here is skip do and do two. One, two. Skip one. And two again. Skip three. And two. And this will slowly become visible. Skip three, go to skip two. One. Skip one. And two. One. Two. And skip two. Three. And another one. And it's very, very good. Let's see. Skip two. One. Two. Making a little bit of progress. It almost looks like little ducks going along now. It isn't, but it looks like it. Alright, skip two again and then do two. I am just making sure I get in the right spots. I wonder who's what. Right, what? Skip to do. Yep, I am just hopping between doing this happy camper banner and doing the advent calendar. Let's two then skip to another two. There we go. I wonder. Oh. Ah, well, it's one up and out from previous. There. And back along the line to make all the little X's. And it's been half an hour. At least the rain's went off. Glad I brought my charger. I was at 70 and now it's down to 60 already. Look it in. How very easy. Another X and another X. Yeah, I have some stuff to talk about on my next Tuesday video. A weekly one. I may even have some words finished by then. At this rate. Well, I have the bottom edge of the P done and the one. I don't have the bottom parts of them. I decided to do from the most area first and then I'll go down to those bits after. Because they won't be as far back and forth. Just about got the shape of a H. And this is one of the reasons I don't do eyes very often. They're very, 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 very quiet and very, very. 不 Maybe I'm just doing it on the wrong day or something. There's lots of over here. I'm just yabbering away to myself. Get two. Yes, good. That's two. $40 are gone. Get two and then do another. Get five. That's not five. That's a big jump. Mm. And skip. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Skip. I am working on a bit of cross stitch at the moment. What are you working on, Kate? And skip again. I'm doing the lettering for Happy Camper. Ah, washcloths. They're a nice thing to make. Nice and easy. And probably good for working on a hot day. How's your weather? It's wet and chilly here. So no worries about doing something that's too warm. Ah, so you have somewhere you go when the tornado, like when you're under a tornado warning, so do you have somewhere you're supposed to go when it gets to a certain point or something? We don't really get tornadoes here. I don't really know what it'd be like to be under a tornado warning. Suppose you'd have to secure things down for the wind. I am now going back the way on my third row of the lettering section. They are actually starting to take a shape. Before it was like weird little dashes along it. Ah, interesting, good to know. The lowest point and somewhere without windows. I don't really have a lowest point without windows in this sense. We only have 2 floors. Well, technically, I suppose you could count the attic as a floor, but it really isn't because it doesn't have much of a floor. The rest of the building is just 2 floors, basic house, and we don't have a basement. It's not something you really get here very much. Basements and garages and things. Like some of the newer houses have garages, but not basements. Basements are usually put in specific. A bathtub closet. Well, the only option there then would be the bathtub, since this house doesn't have that many spaces and closets. And my wardrobe doesn't have doors or a back. It was made specifically to be open. That's how I wanted it. So it's more just kind of shelves with a pole. And yeah, works well for me. Although I would say if you leave things in my wardrobe too long, they get dusty. Suppose that's a way to encourage yourself to use more of your clothes. So whereabouts are you? Okay. I'm in Scotland. Yeah. Be interesting to know where you are. Oh, having a guitar needle one. It almost kind of sounds like it's almost like when we get like it won't be, but it's kind of like when you know you're going to have a thunderstorm and you're kind of like, oh, paying attention. But like, I don't know, it's just something to pay attention to. I see. Alabama. That sounds like a nice enough place. Where are we? Trying to keep track of this is tricky. That looks like that. Here's how it's shaping up. I'm not sure if it's starting to look like letters yet or not. It just kind of looks like pink blobs. It'll start looking like something eventually. So do you do anything besides crochet? Or you just exclusively crochet? I know some people like to do multiple crafts. I'm the kind of person who likes to do multiple crafts as well, but like not too many. Make it too busy, then you never have time to do anything. Yeah, I suppose it does require some patience. to work on cross stitch. Especially since I'm doing counted cross stitch, you do have to count all the time. That part I do not enjoy doing, because especially with this thing here, because it's got an edge, and to specifically get it counted out so that we knew where the piece was to be in, that I didn't end up slightly off to the side of the banner. Yeah. Oh, so you like making stitch markers? That sounds like a nice thing to do. I've made a few stitch markers in the past, but not for a while. What kind of clasp do you like to use? I've noticed with people making stitch markers, it's kind of changed what people like using. When I first saw people doing stitch markers, mostly I saw them using in the lobster clasp. But recently I've seen different clasps. I found that pretty interesting. So when I made some, I used the lobster clasp. Although I did use large lobster clasps. The small ones are a little bit on the tiny. Ah, you make a lever back. Yeah, that's the thing that I've been seeing a lot of people using. They kind of look like earrings to me, the lever backs. Just kind of an interesting clasp. Where was I? There, skip 4. Oh, so they can be used for earrings. So multi-purpose then. Yeah, I suppose that could be a reason. Also, with the lobster clasps, I haven't really used the lever backs very much, but with the lobster clasps, I find sometimes they're hard to open, which can be a bit painful on my hands if you're trying to open it and it doesn't want to open, especially when I've gotten them and they've been really stiff. And they will eventually loosen off, but do you really want to be having to wait for them to loosen off? I don't think so. And that's my problem with the lobster clasp. That's why when I made a couple that I used larger ones to try and make it easy. Over. Yeah, I got some lever backs recently. I haven't used them yet for anything, so it might be good to try them. On projects. The other ones that I use a lot are the colored plastic ones that you can get fairly easily. I have one back here. Yeah. I use this kind quite frequently because they're generally kind of easy to open up and fairly easy to lock. But they were more what? I don't know if you were going to say something there or not. Skip through again. Yeah. I got a whole box of them for Christmas. I think it was Christmas. And they came in this tray and they're all different colours. And they're very useful, I find. With them being different colours and there being a lot of them just makes it useful for counting. But yeah. True, there are less of them. More that paid. Scripting. When I made them with the larger lobster class, I was sending them to someone, and I knew they found them hard to do sometimes. That's why I specifically did that. The main problem I found when I got them, besides there being less of them and them being more price, was some of them were they wouldn't open at all, like they were sealed shut, and other ones were not really holding anything at all. Probably just because they were badly made, but it was still kind of a frustrating thing. I just had to kind of pick through them to find ones that were semi-decent. And that's the last one on that. And the back again. And once I've done this line, I think I'll probably put this down. This is harder on my hands. I generally don't do it for as long as I do other things. Yeah, I was kind of irritated, but the ones that I got weren't very expensive, and I had enough for what I was trying to do, so I just kind of went, whatever, just not buying those ones again, kind of thing. If I had paid more than what I paid at the time, which I can't honestly remember, but it wasn't a lot, I probably would have been more annoyed than I was. But yeah, here's how this is going. Yes, you live and learn, that's for sure. Alright, that's what it's looking like so far. I think it is starting to look like something. That's good. I will say, I think the letters look a little bit odd on the paper, but I think they're looking more like a shape on here than they were just printed like that. Yeah, because on the picture, this picture, it does look more like words than it does on the graph. So I think it'll look fine. It does look a bit odd on there. Thanks. I think it's good stuff. I really like the colours as well. It's an interesting colour palette. Dark grey, light grey, two varying shades of teal, and then super hot pink. I actually have a couple of other cross stitch things that I should probably get to sometime soon. They're Christmas card fronts. And I had started one of them. I think maybe sometime at the start of the year, or at the end of last year, something like that. And so it's still sitting with just a little bit done. So once I finish this, that'll probably be the next one that I work on. And one last stitch. And that's that row done. It's looking pretty good, I think. So I am going to put my needle on the back of my work. Which for this project, I've actually been putting in up here on the extra fabric so that it doesn't interfere with anything on the front. Just to make it as tidy as possible. I like very tidy looked things. So I'm going to put these by. I'm keeping them in a little bag, just a drawstring bag. It's perfect size for this kit, everything fits in it. Let's all the stuff back in. Put that down, and I'm going to go back to working on this. Oh wow, I'm actually overtime now. Hadn't noticed. Yeah, it is a very handy little bag. I don't have many that size, but yeah, they are handy. I don't think there would be any crochet projects that would be small enough though. So that's me at my hour point, which is usually when I end my lives. So see you later. Hope you come back again when I do another live. Remember and comment, like, subscribe down below and ring the bell for notifications for every time I put up a new video. This and on. It doesn't want this end.